Would you just like to know that you are the creator of your own reality? Would you like to feel that sense of positive expectation and certainty that your desire really is going to arrive on your doorstep? Well, firstly, you need to prove to yourself that the law of attraction or manifestation is real. And in this video, I'm going to give you a 15-second technique that you can use every single day to achieve just that. Hey guys, this is Tom. If you're new to my channel, I make videos that help you empower your higher self and manifest your dream life. Once again, I'm offering 60 minutes of free one-on-one coaching. I'll announce the winner at the end of the week. To enroll, all you have to do is like this video and comment down below, "It is done." And every week I will announce it on YouTube, and also I will do a live raffle where I'll draw out the winner on my Facebook page, The Manifestors Academy. So you can join there if you want to see it announced live. All right, just a quick point. I know I said law of attraction and manifestation, and they do differ in how they're defined. One of them is more about attracting it in. The other one's more about being an infinite being with everything existing within the human imagination, and you're just bringing that aspect of yourself alive and merging with that reality. It's out of the scope of this video on the mechanics of how this all works, but for the sake of ease, I'm using these terms interchangeably in this video. Okay, so this technique, this 15-second technique, the best thing about it is you don't need anything. It's as bare bones as you can possibly get. You don't need to get into any particular meditative state. You don't need to get into a state akin to sleep, like in Neville Goddard techniques. You can perform this literally anywhere as long as you have about 15 seconds at hand. Now, the reason for this is because we're dealing with micro-manifesting. This is where you manifest things that you absolutely believe are possible because they're very common, ordinary, everyday things. Micro-manifesting. With this, you don't need to penetrate deeply into the subconscious mind, and that's done by emotions normally. And with your big desires, you normally have to get into a deep state to really penetrate past all these limiting layers and really get at the root of your core being. But with this, it's very casual. You can be walking down the street and perform this. All right, so this is a 4-step process that I've combined from reality transurfing and Neville Goddard techniques. What it begins with is basically being aware that there are 2 screens of the mind. There's the outer screen and the inner screen. The outer screen is just simply the external world. It's everything you can see and perceive through the senses. And then the internal world is the thoughts and emotions. So what you want to do is you want to realize that your mind is either consumed by one screen or the other. You're either up in your head thinking, or you're out in the world observing and being stimulated by the external environment. It's one or the other. But when you're doing this technique, what you can do is just pause, take a deep breath in, become mindful, and find the space between the 2 screens. It's actually very easy. You actually can be aware of the outside world and your inner landscape as well at the same time. So you find this middle position and you kind of rest in there. It only takes about 5 or 10 seconds. Have some practice, you'll get it really quickly. So once you've found this space as best you can between the outer and inner screens, you want to then direct some of your awareness to your heart center, because this is the most powerful place to manifest things. So you want to direct that to your heart center. In reality transurfing, they say your plate, which is a little bit behind the heart center, but I like doing the heart center. I found it works really well. And you just put a bit of awareness on that. And then what you want to do is you want to just very quickly, in first person point of view, visualize a very basic scene. This can be anything from you receiving a cup of coffee, arriving at work, talking to a specific co-worker straight away, picking up a tennis ball that you found near your local park when you're walking a dog, your dog, not anyone's dog, but yours specifically. And it's just a really common everyday thing. And because it's so common, you can believe that it would happen. It's more, will it happen, will it not happen? And you're trying to impress in reality through your visualization scene and this really brief impression into the subconscious mind that is going to be the way you foresee in your mind. Now, when you have this picture, it's going to be as simple as this. Picture which way your fridge opens. Which way does your fridge open? That's it. You saw yourself go like that. That's all we're talking about here. You can do this literally with your eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter. Because this is a very basic scene. So as you picture this scene, you've got a bit of awareness on your heart at the same time as well as your picture. And you just want to be feeling in your body, feeling in your being, a very neutral state, a very grounded state. Because this is a very common everyday thing, and that's how you'd feel if this kind of stuff happened. So you want to just be so in the faith that it is happening, that your faith is so strong that it's actually unnoticeable to you. You're completely normal. It's like a bit of a paradox to think about, but really what we're shooting for is just everyday, realistic emotion in a normal situation that doesn't excite or stimulate you in any way because it's so ordinary. It's a very quick process. The whole thing should be done in about 15 seconds. Now you can repeat the same scene a couple of times a day for a couple of days total, and then just completely drop it. Every time you do a repetition, completely drop it. Don't think about it again, just go on with your day. And just know that it's going to happen, but know so much that you never think about it. Because in a sense, it already has happened. You know when you remember a really basic memory? Like if I said, do you remember brushing your teeth this morning? Picture it like that. It's almost like you're trying to recall a very common everyday scene that's so common, you can just come in and come out. Into your consciousness, out of your consciousness. You know what's happened, it's true, get on with your life. I hope that's kind of getting the overall state of being and attitude you have when doing this process. Now, if you've done it correctly, what you will see is that the very thing ends up becoming true. And that's when it does get a bit mind-blowing. And so when it comes true, celebrate that, sure. Celebrate more in an empowered sense of, yes, I am the creator of my own reality. Affirm that power within you. But don't celebrate because you are overwhelmed by it, because then you're going to put too much pressure on the next repetition and it's not going to happen. The whole idea is that you want to make this a very normal, everyday process that you can experiment with, and that's going to prove the law of attraction is true, and that then you'll be able to apply this sense of faith and certainty and casualness, neutrality, even for your bigger manifestation desires. Right, some examples in my own life, because this is where it's been really cool. So one time in Australia, I actually don't know if in other countries they're big yet, but keep cups, which is like reusable coffee cups that everyone's kind of buying now to be better for the environment. And I wanted to manifest one of those for free, even though they're only $15. And so I pictured myself going to work where I was working at the time, and there's a little coffee shop near it, and I pictured myself handing this keep cup to the barista. And it was just a short scene of me grabbing my keep cup out of my bag and handing it to the barista. Now, I didn't tell anyone about this, and about a week later, I sure enough was in my room and my girlfriend had bought the exact keep cup for herself, but then didn't like the design and said that I could have it. The next day I was going to work and the exact same thing happened, where I turned in my bag and was like living a dream in my real life. So that was one. Another one was where I pictured my boss at the time working in the cafe instead of at her desk. She never worked at the cafe, but I knew it was technically possible. So I pictured her for some reason on a laptop in this specific booth, and I sort of came up the stairs turning into the offices, and the cafe's right there, and I pictured seeing her. And I dropped that, and I did that about 10 minutes before I arrived in the office, and sure enough I come up and she's sitting in that exact seat. Really cool kind of stuff happens like that, and you can really rack up dozens of these. And then through these 15-second repetitions, you all of a sudden really have a solid evidential basis for proving that the law of attraction is real, and proving to yourself, knowing in yourself that you can manifest your bigger, more meaningful desires. So I hope you like this video. Please comment "it is done" if you'd like to win that coaching session again. Join the Manifestors Academy if you want to interact with other people that are manifesting their desires and dreams. And also like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.